Hello, everyone. This is Rick, and welcome to Astral Club. This is the second in my series of interviews with mystics. This is an interview with Neville Goddard. Before we get started, though, I just want to mention Patreon. If you would like to support the work of Astral Club, become one of the Astral Club members, you can certainly do so. All you have to do is go down to the description. There's a link there. And when you join, you get part of the chat function. You can talk to other folks. Direct mail, you can talk to me directly. Advanced podcasts on Sunday. And if you're interested, there is a link in the description. Next up, astral projection lessons. If you'd like a lesson to learn how to astral project, be glad to work with you. Please be 18 and older, however. And all you have to do is go down to the description and you'll find that there's an email there. Just ask for some information. Lastly, just want to remind everybody that we have 2 episodes a week. We have one on Wednesday at 2 p.m. and Saturday at 9 a.m. And that time is Eastern U.S. time. Okay, let's get started. Now, when I focused on going to Neville Goddard, I found him in a quiet room filled with golden sunlight, bookshelves lined with various spiritual texts, and the atmosphere was very still, very, very relaxing. He was a well-dressed man with piercing eyes and a knowing smile. Thank you for joining me, Mr. Goddard. It's an honor to speak with you, though I suppose speaking isn't quite the right word in this dimension. Now, obviously referring to telepathy here for anyone who hasn't caught on. Mr. Goddard said, you're quite right. Thought and consciousness carry differently here. But the principle remains. Imagination creates reality, whether in time or outside of it. That idea has fascinated so many. Can you explain what you mean when you say imagination is God? Certainly. When I say God, I speak not of a being outside ourselves, but of a creative power within. That power is your own wonderful human imagination. It is not a poetic metaphor. It is literal. The creative cause of your world is your imagination. As you perceive, believe, and feel, so the world conforms. But most people feel at the mercy of circumstance. How do you reconcile that with the idea that we create our own realities? People do not attract what they want. They attract what they are. What you accept as true of yourself and the world becomes flesh. You see, it is not about wishing. It's about assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Persist in that assumption, and the world reshapes itself to reflect it. You once said the world is yourself pushed out. That's quite a radical claim. Could you elaborate? All that you experience is nothing more than a projection of your inner conversations, your assumptions, your self-concept. If you hold fear, you will see a fearful world. If you embody love, you will find love mirrored back. The mirror doesn't argue, it reflects. The outer world is the echo of your inner state. What about tragedy, misfortune? Are you saying people imagine those things into their lives? Not consciously, of course, but unconsciously, yes. We live in a sea of assumptions. Most of them are inherited unnoticed. A man who believes in lack will meet lack. One who believes in illness may suffer it, even if he prays for health. The key is to awaken, to choose your assumptions deliberately, to say, I am, and finish that sentence with what you wish to be, as if it were already true. That sounds deceptively simple. It is simple, but it is not easy because man forgets. He wakes up in the morning and remembers the past and re-enters the same state of being. You must dare to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, even if the world contradicts you, especially if it does. You taught something called the law of assumption. How does it differ from the more well-known law of attraction? The law of attraction speaks of vibrational matches, but it often keeps God outside the self. The law of assumption, however, is rooted in the I am. It says, assume you already are the person you desire to be and live from that state. You don't attract what you want, you become it, and then the world reflects it. There is no separation between desire and fulfillment, except in our minds. You often quoted scripture, but does the Bible fit into your teachings? The Bible is not secular history. It is divine psychology. Every story, every character, Moses, Jesus, Pharaoh, is a state of consciousness. It is a great parable told in symbols to reveal the journey of man awakening to the God within himself. When Jesus says, I and my Father are one, he speaks of imagination and its source. The crucifixion is not just an event. It is the moment we become entangled in matter, forgetting our power. The resurrection is the reawakening of our divine identity. So, to you, Jesus is not a man outside of us. Jesus is the pattern of awakening that lies within every man. When you fully realize through experience that imagination is the only reality, that is your resurrection. That is salvation. What happens after death, Mr. Goddard? We continue. Imagination unfettered. This life is but one dream among many. After death, we enter into a world as real as this, shaped by the dominant state of our consciousness. But ultimately, all souls are journeying back to the realization that they are the dreamer. When you master that, the cycles end. That's a pretty important point right there, folks. You might want to review those couple of sentences. One last question. What would you say to someone who feels powerless, lost, hopeless? I would say, begin now. Close your eyes. Imagine who you wish to be. Feel the truth of it in your bones. Let it thrill you. Repeat it until it saturates your being. And then walk in that assumption. The world will resist at first, but persist, and it must conform. The truth is, you are not at the mercy of life. You are life. That interview really affected me, really got me thinking about thoughts and how they actually affect our reality. And also the difference between the law of attraction and the law of assumption. it might sound somewhat similar, but there's a crucial difference there somewhere that I think bears, more thought, more investigation. At any rate, I really enjoyed that. If you liked that interview, please hit the like button, share it with those of like minds, subscribe if you haven't already. And of course, questions and comments. I love that. I love reading that stuff, and I know other people do too as well. Okay, this is Rick, and I will see you on the astral plane.